It's not a picture. It's a video.
Video.
What you eating?
That's my cake. That's mine.
It's good?
No.
No, it's not good. No, it's good for you. Look at you, all messy.
And messy. Yeah.
Oh my God. Hey guys, welcome back to Just Being a Mom. Thank you. Okay. Today, I'm gonna share with you guys how I got Elijah to eat kale and we're gonna share our vegetable journey. It has not always been this easy to get him to eat kale, but he's doing it. He loves vegetables. So I wanna share with you guys some of the things that I did and how we've worked up to him eating so much spinach and kale. Yes. Okay, can you say bye-bye, Mommy?
Bye-bye, Mommy.
See you later.
See you later.
First, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notification. And since we're talking about food and healthy eating habits, I would love for you guys to put in the comments your kids' favorite food. It doesn't matter if it's whatever it is, whatever they love to eat. French fries, ketchup. Elijah loves ketchup. Spinach. Let me know in the comments what your kid's favorite food is, and let's get started. So basically our journey started off with when Elijah was an infant. I breastfed him until he was 6 months. I mean, he was exclusively breastfed until he was 6 months, and then I started introducing food. Everybody always said, was telling me vegetables first. So I just started off with vegetables. I started off with spinach, kale, everything green, like leafy greens, spring mixes. I would blend them with water, freeze them in little cubes, and leave them in the freezer until he was ready to eat. I would actually put them in a bag, the little block in a bag, and boil it in water so it would heat up. And then, because I was not trying to use the microwave, so I would put it in a plastic bag, boil it inside of a boiling water, and it would melt and become warm. And I would feed that to him, so he was just eating straight kale. I did kind of do it wrong. I was mixing it with other things, and you're supposed to introduce foods one at a time, because if they're allergic to something, you want to know what it was they were allergic to. I totally messed up. I was giving him beets, and I was making little cubes with beets, lentils, and spinach. Totally healthy. But what if he was allergic and I wouldn't have known what caused it? And then eventually I started to spice it up a bit. I introduced seasoning and salt, pepper, oregano, basil, different kind of seasonings to, get his taste buds going. I let him taste different textures of things. That's why I'm a big advocate for letting them put things in their mouths, because that's how they get all the different textures of foods, and they get, they're not as strange to if you put a piece of toast in their mouth, they're like, what is this? That's disgusting, because they've eaten sand before. So of course, yeah, toast is nothing. So yeah, to introduce different textures. I'm gonna place in the link below 100 foods your kid should eat within the first year. My friend actually did this. I think she got to 80, maybe she made it to 100, I don't know. I didn't check up on her. But I thought this was a great list of foods to introduce. But at the time, I was vegetarian. I was either vegan or vegetarian, so I didn't want him to eat meat or dairy or anything, especially for that first year. So that first year he just was vegetables, vegetables and grains for majority of the time, and breast milk. So eventually kids will be kids and they will stop eating vegetables. I feel okay, I was doing all this so he would just like continue. And then, no, it didn't work like that. He was just like, no. Once we moved on to fruit, that's when it all went downhill. So once you start introducing sweet things, they're just like, oh, okay, this is what it's supposed to taste like. And then once they start eating more fruit, they're just like, I'm cool with the spinach, like you can have that. You know? So I was just like, oh my gosh, like what do I do? So then I started hiding it in things like veggie shakes, and like I would just like blend it up and put it in like pasta, and just so at least he was getting it. But then I'm like, okay, well, he's never gonna really know the real taste of it. He's never gonna get used to the taste of it and even be able to like the taste if I just keep hiding it in things. So I stopped hiding it. I was just like, look, he's gonna try to eat these vegetables. What I did was I would give him the vegetables first. So he would eat those first, and then I would give him the other things. So he would just naturally eat these vegetables because that's all that's in front of him. So that worked for a little while. And then I just felt like things just worked for a little while and then stopped working. So eventually I just had to do this whole thing over again and start again, where I'm just like, look, giving him the vegetables first, like you're eating these vegetables first. And then I realized, like, Shelby, maybe I should make them taste better. So that he knows he's still eating spinach, like it's still green, it still looks like spinach, but it tastes a little better. So my secret ingredient is, I'm gonna share with you guys, is vinegar. I put vinegar on all of his vegetables, and I know you're looking at me crazy, or maybe you're not, maybe you put vinegar on your vegetables too, but vinegar really makes it taste good, and it like sweetens it up just enough to where it's not, obviously not sugar, but it's like, gives it like a tang. And so like, he loves the way I make the kale. Basically, I boil water and vinegar and seasoning, and I boil the kale for a few hours, and I'll put the instructions below so that you can make your kale this way. It's honestly the best. And he loves it. So now he eats everything as long as I put vinegar on it. As long as it tastes good, he'll eat it. And so I started putting different sauces, like, okay, I'll put vinaigrette, balsamic vinaigrette, and like olive oil, and do that. And, or I'll put like salad dressing on it, like Italian salad dressing, and, or like I've even put barbecue sauce, and like he just like loves it. I'm just like, okay, well, he's eating kale and spinach. So eventually I started like putting just less and less on there until like I put like the minimal amount, you know, I don't think you should just nobody wants to eat just raw kale, like that's okay. But I would just put less and less until it's just like enough, like a good amount of like whatever sauce I was using. And he would still just be shoving it in his mouth. I'm like, you go, kid. You shove that kale right in your mouth. And he just loves it. So I'm so happy for him that he is eating vegetables. He loves his vegetables. I couldn't be more happy. And also a big, big thing I realized is your kid will eat what you are eating. So this was hard because all I wanted to eat was pizza and then give him kale, because I want you to be healthy, but I'm not really taking care of myself. Crazy. Like, I have to also eat healthy and lead by example, and your kid wants whatever's on your plate anyways. So if kale and rice and beans is on your plate, he's obviously gonna want the same thing. So you have to make changes, unfortunately. You have to make changes for yourself, and your kid will follow. And I realized too, like when I was eating a lot of kale, I could taste it through my breast milk, and then that definitely helped too. But I feel like the biggest factor in like your kids eating vegetables is you eating your vegetables and you making sure that you are living a healthy lifestyle and leading by example. And yeah. So that's all I really have today. Like I said, guys, comment below what your child's favorite food is. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I hope this helped you guys get your kids to eat kale, just hearing about our journey. And let me know how it works for you. If you're trying, what you're doing to, let me know in the comments, like what you're doing to try to get your kid to eat vegetables. If you've tried these things, if you know some things that would help other moms, like leave them in the comments. I would totally appreciate it, guys. Say thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
See you next time.
Okay, you could be like happier, like when you do it.
Mommy.
We're still working with him. Okay. Bye. Say bye.
Bye.
What are you eating? It tastes good.
It must taste good.
Okay, eat it.
Oh, Mommy, eat too? Okay. I got it.
Mmm, so tasty. Tastes good.
I'm gonna bring the food. I got it.
Ooh. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. See you next time.